Name Robert.
Remember when we were young, we felt like the luckiest ones. Nothing to worry about. The whole world was a hand-me-down. It's hard to be different. It's even harder when you wanna fit in. High school was a catastrophe. It was a failure factory. Turn it up, turn it up. Turn up your radio loud. Don't forget where you come from. It's too soon to be proud. Remember when we were young. Remember when we were young. Remember when we were broke. Money would come and go. The whole world is a hand-me-down. So you gotta wear it proud. Whenever I reminisce, I know that the greatest risk is giving up the fun for pay. I don't wanna live that way. Tear it up, tear it up. Tear out that page. I don't wanna grow up, don't wanna act my age. Remember when we were young. Turn it up, turn it up. Turn up your radio loud. Don't forget where you come from. It's too soon to be proud. Remember when we were young. Remember when we were young. Oh, 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 How will I know if I don't ask why? Won't let it pass me by. I see my life in a faded sky, slipping away. Hey. Tear it up, tear it up. Tear out that beach. I don't wanna grow up, don't wanna act my age. Remember when we were young. Turn it up, turn it up. Turn up your radio loud. Don't forget where you come from.
Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Living in the real world. Ain't it good when it goes beyond all alone?
We're just going to take a minute to introduce ourselves. So, hi, I'm Paige. I'm Sierra.
Michael.
Nicole. Haley. Kylie. Ashley. Sarah. Fallon.
Stuart.
Ronnie.
I'm Catherine. I'm not a senior, but I have senior moments.
Sean. I'm Appleberry.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Alex. I'm Scott.
I'm Jocelyn.
I'm Jacob.
I'm McKenna. I'm Avalon.
I'm Garrett Nelson.
I'm Kendra.
And this is our 2014 class. Will you raise your hand if you have been, it's not a big deal if you haven't, so don't feel bad about it or anything. But if you've been with us since the beginning of Real World Academy, the beginning. Look at that, these people are strong, iron. If you've been with us for 3 years, raise your hand. If you've been 2, and if this is your first year with us here at Real World Academy. 1.5. 1.5 is fine. All right, awesome.
And raise your hand if you have senioritis. My son is in the 12th grade and he is just, every day he goes, do I have to go to, yes, you have to go to school.
I do have
Yes, you have to.
procrastination.
Yes,
School is not over
yes.
just because you want
Just
it
what
to be.
is school?
Okay, and now I will introduce our distinguished panel to the back of you. Again, Catherine Bailey, you guys know me, I'm your director. If you don't know me, please tell everyone that you do. All right, this is Mr. Parks, he is our vice principal.
Hey, you guys.
And we have Debbie Essel, and she is the chief of all.
Assistant Superintendent of Education.
That's what she is, assistant, yes.
Yeah.
Sue Pacone, who's the assistant to the assistant superintendent of education. Oh, thank you. We have George Essel. Everyone knows George Essel. Who's part of the robotics team? No one in here. You're a part of the robotics team. And what was your big award that you just received?
Something professionalism award.
Yes, that is one of the highest honors you can get.
Gracious is a good word to know.
Yes. So
He's being gracious right now.
it was a spectacular award that just shows that that our school is about helping and mentoring and being a part of a community, which I think is awesome. So congratulations to you and to and last but certainly not least, Dr. Kathleen Hermsmeyer, who is our superintendent of all. The entire school, so be nice to her and only say kind things. Just to keep my job going. Alright, that's it.
Okay, we want to thank you for coming. Omar, who's right split in the middle, he's going to be running our Socratic, so I'll just let the class commence.
Alright.
Okay, so. Alright, let's start off with the question that you guys came up with. I'm going to start off with the number 4. How would you state the Real World Academy's mission statement?
Mission statement of River Springs Charter School, Springs Charter School. You guys should know this off the top of your head. This was your question.
Catherine, you're gonna have to get out of the circle if you're gonna keep.
Oh, that's true. I'll be quiet.
Thank you.
Does anyone know? Or it's something
How
about
would
Well, I
we
think
state
it has
it?
something about personalized learning, I think, isn't it? Maybe like goals or something.
I know we did that in the
Power
Power
tools,
maybe?
And gestures.
Check yourself.
I think it's how would we personally state it, like what we think the mission statement is based off of what we've gone through. So,
How would, like, in a sense, like how we would state it?
yeah,
Our own version?
how we think of it.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
I think of it as, the mission is to prepare us for real life, like getting jobs and stuff.
I think like this school really, the education is personalized towards the student. Like everyone has their certain talent in the school, and the teachers really try to focus on their talent. And the education we receive, they try to kind of round it towards us. Say, okay, if you want to be an engineer, why don't you take this math class, and you might be interested in this section and stuff like that. So I think not only is it opening up us up to the real world, but to what we want to do, and kind of helping us get our way into it.
yeah, it's kind of helping us towards our own real world, not just like a general teach you how to go out and get jobs, but it focuses on our own personal wants for our future real world.
What I think is cool about this particular program is that, like Ronnie said, it targets your specific wants and needs in a career, and I've seen a lot of kids switch in and out of their internship programs because they haven't yet found that particular job or career they'd like to pursue. But by the end of for however long you've been here, or at the end of the semester if you've only been here for 1 year, kids have a better grasp on what they would like to do or be when they grow up. So they've solved that one question of the rest of their life, so it's pretty good.
So this says to empower students by fostering their innate curiosity. Can you say how you feel our school has helped you foster your innate curiosity?
Well, I think it's helped me with mine, because when I took an internship class, I went to, I did paleontology work, and it made me like, because I always thought about the idea of it, doing it, watching it, and it was actually kind of fun to do it. So it pricked my curiosity of trying new things, stuff like that.
Do you want to continue on with that?
It's okay, but I have other ones I would rather do.
Absolutely. Curiosity. What about you, Avalon, with goodness gracious, what you just did for the entire school?
The class? That was really nerve-wracking, to be perfectly honest, but it's a really great experience figuring out how exactly to, I guess, work through all the channels, because to start a class or,
Will you explain what you did?
basically what I did was, I interned at a place called Bigfoot Graphics. I think I've been there for 2.5, possibly going on 3 years now. And I absolutely love it. But we're trying to institute anime superhero drawing art class for the middle and possibly opening up to the high school. And basically what Tony, my mentor, tries to do is we're trying to basically allow the middle school and possibly the high school students to have the opportunity to have more of a art class tailored to what they would like to draw or what their interests are, and so it'll give them the opportunity to figure out if they really do want to get into making comics or anime, or if it's actually not what they would really like to do. But it's a really fun class, and I help with a lot of them, and so we're trying to put that here in the MPR, I think, at the end of this month for 4 weeks. It's a 4-day class. I think we're doing it Wednesdays. So if any of you would like to actually stop by, I invite you to see it. Awesome. Alright, awesome. I think Ms. Thurston actually has some flyers at her desk, I'm not too sure. So if you're to be interested in getting a flyer, Ms. Thurston has them available for you guys.
Can I ask a question? Is anime just a specific style of cartooning?
Yeah, it's short for animation, but it's more of a Japanese type. So Pokemon, for example, if you remember that show, Pokemon is a type of anime. That's one of the more general ones, but there's ones that have a lot more detail, or there's more adapted styles to it. So a lot of middle schoolers and high schools are very interested in anime and that type of cartooning. But the class itself has been it's really helped me try and get out of my comfort zone, because I absolutely hate talking on the phone with people. I have this weird fear of phone calls, but I actually had to have a phone meeting with Ms. Pangle, so it was kind of interesting getting the information through the phone instead of talking face to face. So that actually helped me be more comfortable on the phone, and trying to figure out how to work with everyone else's schedule to fit my own and Tony's. It really helped me just kind of figure out how the real world actually works, instead of people figuring out how to base their own schedule around mine. So I had to actually work around everyone's, and it was kind of a whirlwind of just craziness, and I had to write down everything on a calendar and just plan everything out, and emailing people back and forth, but it was actually really fun, and I really like to do something like this again, or now that I'm better equipped and with my knowledge and everything, it's I know what to do now.
Definitely really well.
Yeah.
So in regard to the mission, what else kind of hits you about, like, how you feel like the mission of our school has incorporated into the mission of your years here at our school? Another element is just empowering parents, or having parents involved. Do you feel like your parents, as high school students, were involved at all? And of course, anyone on the outside circles can join in, but were your parents included in your high school years? Yes.
Mine definitely was.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How?
In grades, she noticed my grades were going down, and she gets an email every week, I think, right? Is it every week?
If she wants to, yes. It could be every day if she really
And she sees that I'm not doing well, or something hasn't been put in, so she'll be sure to, be on me about that, or be on the teachers, or so. In my last school, which really was a bad school, they didn't do that at all. You just waited for a progress report or report card.
Excellent.
I know I transferred with Fallon to this school, and before, at our old school, my parents didn't know my grades, ever. They never really knew what classes I was into, but the teachers are really friendly, and they get emails, and they have all these sites to go on to look, and now, they're interested in every little part. So, for me, it's stressful, but it's really helped, in my grades and stuff.
To actually do work.
Yeah.
For me, I had problems freshman year in school, and the biggest thing that my family did for me was put me in this school. I wasn't getting good grades anymore because I couldn't focus properly because of all the problems I was having, and putting me in this school really helped me actually get better as a student.
And you helped our community too, because you interned with William, and so you know all the ins and outs of our school now, don't you?
Yep.
You're very helpful. Thank you for all your hard work.
But I feel like I have an opportunity to be independent, if that makes sense, because I know my mom, she's like, you're an adult, you need to learn how to do your own thing, so I'm not going to help you as much anymore. And I feel like here, I can go to my teachers and talk. I went to a public school for 2 years, and my counselor wouldn't even have a meeting with me unless my mom was there. And so I feel like here, I'm able sometimes to kind of, my mom's like, figure it out, and if you need help, then I'll help you. And I figured out so much just by myself, and so I don't have to get my mom involved as much. It's more, I can go to Miss Thurston. She's like the one person I can always go to, Miss Thurston, I need this done. And, I need this. So she's always there, and then even Miss Barry, I've gone in there a couple of times. So I feel like sometimes you don't have to get your parents involved as much because you're able to get it done on your own.
That's good.
Yeah, I just really appreciate how helpful the staff is and everybody. When I have a question, I'll email Miss Barry, and she emails back really fast, or just the teachers are really helpful, and I really appreciate that.
Alright, so I'll bring up but since you guys brought up those, bringing up that, this could probably go with it. What kind of skills do you guys think students would need to be successful in this type of program? since we've been for years. Alright. Me personally, I think a skill that you would need to be in this program would just be like, you have to be a person that's gonna wanna ask more questions and not be to yourself, because everyone here is friendly and we're not all gonna harm you at all. We're not evil. And it's a small class, and you're like, the teacher is only here for like 30 students or 40, and so obviously they like know who you are and they're gonna help you out. So you just need to be a skilled person to ask questions more and not be to yourself.
With that, I think just communicating with your friends. Like, you're having trouble on your homework, you go talk to your friends and see if they're having trouble, or they're having different troubles, and you guys just communicate and help each other out. I think that's a necessary skill. It's teamwork.
Jocelyn has something to say.
Spot, right?
Spotlight shining.
Alright, well, as you can tell, we all get along very well, and just like this class really has, since I started freshman year, it was like really awkward, just different personalities, but somehow we all were able to click very well, and from that matter, like, we were all able to be helpful with each other during all these years, and even like the ones that just started, it's like a great experience, and we can feel so comfortable around each other, so it's not really a struggle for us to even try to cooperate or even speak our minds out when we need to. So it's very, so that really put out, and just practically getting all the help that we need.
So what are some of the ways that happened? What did that look like? So you said that you know, it was very awkward your freshman year. So how did you move beyond that first?
At first, yeah, not just that, but also, since I was very quiet, I was always in my own like corner, and just like I would switch like each table, and I would know like everyone has like their own group, but when it comes to like, so I was able to see how everyone was, but at the time when we were all supposed to gather around as a group, we were all able to like just mess around with each other because we knew exactly who we were, and just it just all came together very well.
Like one big giant family.
Yeah. Well, I have a question. So when we first introduced the idea of having a teacher for all 4 years, we had some kids that were like, yay, and some were like, oh, what if we hate her? What if she's horrible and we're stuck with her for 4 years? And we all know Mrs. Bennett. And I apologize for that because I keep her every year. Just kidding. We'll talk later. But so how did you feel in the beginning, and how has that morphed over the years? I'm curious. Yes, ma'am.
For me, it was definitely like not like a culture shock, but I went to a school where there were 2,500 people. So to come to a school where there's like not even close to that many, and then I have one teacher for like 3 periods, and everybody in my class, like that 30 people, follow me throughout the whole day. We all stay together. So that was difficult, but then at the same time it's not, because the group and the working environment carries through every class. So I think it's more like the teacher has to adapt to what the students have, and not the students adapt to what the teacher has. Because even like Miss Betancourt, like she knows Sarah and I, we work really well together, and she knows like Taylor and Garrett and Alex work really well together. So you just know, like Miss Betancourt, it's like everybody get in a group, everybody's like, okay, we're already in our group. So, and that carries through every class, and even in math, we all sat at the same table and we know who we work well with, and like at a huge public school, you don't have that, because every class I had, I might have 1 or 2 of the same people, so you had to kind of change the way that you learned every single class, and here you don't. It's like one continuous day, if that makes sense.
I think also like having a teacher, one teacher you keep, it's kind of goes in with the mission statement of having a personal education. If your teacher doesn't know you personally, then how are you supposed to have personal education towards you and what your goals are? But since our teacher knows us, some of us for 4 years and so forth, they're gonna know us, know what we want our education geared towards, and luckily at the school they make it happen. So.
Yeah. I think it's a good thing, but then at the same time, since this is a real world academy, once we leave the school, when we go to college, it might be difficult for us to learn in a different environment since we weren't taught that way in high school. So we're not going to have those same people in college. I mean, colleges have, the college I'm looking at has 40,000 kids. So, I mean, I'm not going to know anybody, so it's going to be harder and it's going to be a bigger culture shock, and it might be a disadvantage in our favor in that way when we go off to a big 4-year university.
And also you gotta realize when you go to college, like, you're not gonna have that same, like, teacher to student relationship. Like, you go into class, they're most likely not gonna care whether or not you show up, and you're just gonna have to get used to that. Like, well, I went to Temecula Valley for a little while, and you gotta get used to, like, you're not gonna always have good teachers. Like, at this school, you have a personal relationship with the teacher, whereas when you go to, like, college or, like, public high school, like, you might get some teachers that you hate. I know I did, and that's why I came back. But, yeah, you just gotta, like, you gotta be used to that and just be prepared.
Are there skills that you learned that you can translate as you move into a 4-year college? Is there something, I mean, I realize exactly what Sarah's saying, that, this is a specific program and that you've had a relationship with a teacher for 4 years. But did you learn something in that relationship that would help you as you move into a 4-year college or a junior college that might help you make that transition?
Possibly being more open. Like if you're able to be out, like you learn to be outgoing with the groups of friends that you've made. So maybe when you go to this 4-year college and with all those people, there's bound to be more people that are like you there because of how many people are there. So if you just kind of go for it and just try to make friends in your class, because I don't even know how many kids in one 4-year college classroom. So I'm sure if you're just outgoing, like which you learn here at this school, because really no one here is kind of like on their own. There's not really that one like weird kid. we're all kind of weird. So in that sense, I'm sure it's not going to be that hard. That's the truth in life, though. Exactly. Yeah. Everybody's kind of not just this school.
Yeah. And with what Brendan said, being more outgoing and making more friends, that can help you out in schooling also, because the more people you have to help you if you're struggling, the easier it's going to be.
The school, sorry.
No, you go, please.
Oh, I was just going to say, this school also helps, I think we've all gained a lot of self-confidence out of the school, because, we've learned that, coming into the school, I was pretty antisocial, I didn't really talk much. But I kind of throughout the years. Well, that was like freshman year, the first week or something.
The first day.
Yeah, the first day I was really antisocial. Over the course of a few years, I've really come out of my shell.
Overcome that.
We've all learned that despite our differences, we can all come together as one, as a class, and it's been cool to see. Even people like Appleberry, who at first he was kind of quiet, but now he's the
leader, class clown,
the dictator of the class.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say is, I love that you have said that, because I am from a really small town. Mountain Home, Arkansas is the name of the town of which I am from. Beautiful place to visit. So I had a really small class. So I experienced what you guys are talking about. That was, I had 250 graduate with me that I had through most of my high school. Maybe 300. I might have had a little bit more. But when I went to college, I didn't know that you didn't talk to people and that you didn't get to know your professors. I mean, I would raise my hand, ask if I could sing in class for extra credit. And they were like, that's interesting. Brown, is it? Nice. That was my last name at the time. So all those kind of things. And I created relationships. I still talk to my professors from my undergraduate. I send them Christmas cards every year. I have access to them because they mattered to me. I appreciated them because I understood what a relationship meant. And that helps whenever I need a letter of recommendation for any kind of thing. I can call on them, and they're not just professors, they became my friends.
For all 4 years is that I've noticed that the quality of my work has improved based on the feedback she's given me. And I think, like, when I was in middle school, I had a new humanities teacher every year, 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, and I found that their standards were very different from your years, so you kind of have to adapt, and it takes a while to get used to that. But with Mrs. Betancourt, after the first year of getting used to her standards, you start to get a feel for what she sees in your work, and then you can just get better from that. And at senior year, you can definitely know what you need to fix for college.
Garrett, do you have something to say?
Well, I feel like at River Springs, I've learned to build relationships with my teachers and exploit their knowledge. And I think I can transfer that over to college, and it will be useful because a lot of the professors are people from the field that you'll want to go into, and they'll have a lot to teach you. And just from building relationships with people like Mr. Essel, Ms. Nicely, Mr. Smith, it's just opened me up to learning that teachers can be actually really cool. But
Alright. What are the values that you guys think that, value factors that you think that students stay with the Real Academy? What makes you think, what makes a student just stay here? Why did you guys stick around?
Friendliness, I would say.
There's only 5 of us, I think, who actually stayed.
Garrett.
Maybe 10.
Well, the majority of this class is still here. I mean, if you're thinking from even last year, a lot of people.
But how many do we have our freshman year? 60?
I gotta say, that first freshman year, I'm impressed with all of you that stayed. I mean, there were so many changes and those kind of things. It was a startup program. Anytime you have a startup program, there are so many bumps along the way that I'm proud of you all that stuck through, because there were a lot of changes, a lot of different things. But you are the reason that it was successful. So I thank you all for doing that and for putting your faith in our program and in Mrs. Betancourt and all the other teachers. But having said that, what is valuable? Why do you think that you continue to stay? Why did you stay for another year? And I mean, it can be bold-faced honest, well, at this point, my units wouldn't transfer, so I just stayed. You know?
In all honesty, I'd say for me, it's probably some. I'm sure there are other people out there that think this, but the 2 home study days. That's why I'm here.
That warms the cockles of my heart.
I'm here because my friend and I couldn't go to the same school. I would have to go to Paloma, she would have to go to Vista, so that's why we stayed.
I stayed because I like the fact that none of us really pick on each other in a mean way. We might mess around oh, Brennan, you look funny today. We're all joking. We all like each other. We all get along really well, and you don't really find that with a group like this at a regular high school.
Definitely. I think our whole class, and I'm not in the bigger block of all the students, but our block is very small. But I feel like we kind of are all a family in a way of we all know each other and we're all nice to each other, and we're not judging someone because they came to school in sweatpants. And it's just
that was me.
I wasn't thinking about that.
Whoops.
I lost my train of thought.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
So you guys are utopian students, and you never have gotten into any conflict with each other this whole 4 years.
Nope.
You've all gotten along great year after. Okay, I have teenagers at home, and I don't buy it. But so what I'm wondering is, do you think that, when you've had conflicts, how have you worked them out? And do you think that it's the fact that you know you're going to be with these people for the whole 4 years that makes you think, well, we've got to work it out because I can't just avoid this person like I might be able to do in a big comprehensive?
I don't know, like before you guys got here, some of us just got in an argument. It's almost like a family type atmosphere. Like I have brothers and sisters, and you get angry at each other, and then you're just kind of like, whatever, I love you guys, whatever. So that's kind of how it is. It's just like, okay, I'm totally frustrated with you, but we're friends. I'm not gonna let it like hinder a relationship because we have a disagreement. So I think that's more how it is. Is we all really do love each other. I know, like when I came in last year. Everybody liked each other, and it was awkward at first because I was new, and it was like, okay, I didn't know anybody, but then once you're in with a few people, you're kind of in. You only really need one person to get into like the group, so that's nice. But I think it's more of we all just have to get along, kind of, because we're always here, and in a way we all really get along. So yeah.
I think it's because nobody takes each other seriously. They just stay mad at each other because they don't even believe that they're mad. Okay, cool.
That is family.
And I know our issues that we might have our disagreements and our arguments, but they're not nearly as bad as some of the stuff that goes on at regular high schools. So it's just easier to get over because it's not anything hardcore. It makes it easier.
And like we get in arguments over like stuff in English, so it's not like anything. It's not like deep issues. It's just like kind of dumb things. Really.
Like what TV shows?
Yeah, it's like
I've been here for like 3 years, and I've only had one legit fight.
I remember that as a lunch.
I just lunch food every day.
That was the most quietest period ever. That was it, are you guys all thinking of the same one from lunch?
last year.
Yeah. There was one ever physical fight that we all remember, and it was just this random, no one knew what was going on, but everyone at the school knew because it was the first fight we had ever seen like that.
It was actually staged, it wasn't real, we did that so you guys could see it, you're welcome. Let's move on from that conversation. Just kidding.
I paid $5 to see it again.
We're not, like, at a normal school, there's like fights every day, but here there's never. So,
Once a full year.
One thing I wanted to add is that we're all very accepting of one another. Like, whenever a new student comes into the school, like, I don't care if they're weird or not, like, we always accept the student. And, like, they eventually, like, I don't know, kind of, like, morph into our body. our student body. And we always end up getting along with everyone, because
I don't know how, but
I'd honestly say there's never been, like, actual, like, serious conflict in this class. Like, we're all pretty tight together, and we're all, like, pretty friendly with each other.
Yeah.
I don't know about Garrett.
Well, and I think since we're so acceptable towards each other, we're able to be straightforward with each other when an issue arises.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, when you're able to confront someone, it's like you get to deal with the issue, and everyone's cool with each other. So, yeah.
Freshman year, I guess, when we moved into this, like, spot right here, not our old site, well, I guess I was accused of, graffiti in the bathrooms.
Yeah.
When I always, like, I didn't do it, and I guess I was like, I was accusing it, and the whole faculty, like, just saw me different after that, and I guess, like, all of the teachers and other like the ones downstairs too, they would say they'll like look at me different and then say like talk to me different too. And I don't see why, because like I didn't do it, but I guess like when we go back, they found like a Sharpie that supposedly was the one that did it, and scissors that supposedly had plastic on it, but they were scissors, and I was a freshman, and of course I brought everything to school when I was a freshman, and so I was excited, but not. But after that, it was like everyone saw me different, and actually it carried on for like almost a year or so. So like sophomore year, and what like what made me stay was like they saw me, like they knew that I didn't do it because of what I did, like the sophomore year, to show them that I wasn't that type of person.
I love that.
We know you're not.
I mean, I don't love that you felt like you were persecuted. I don't love that. But I love that you were like, that is not who I am, and I'm going to show you who I am.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot about your character and about who you are. And I absolutely, I love what you just said. And I get it. You know, I have been, some people have said things about me before too that it made me feel bad. And I believe that they're looking at me differently, whether they are or not. And so I believe that that's exactly how you felt for an entire year. But what I love about you, and what I think that, I mean, the second that I saw you as a success story. All of you. I see you all as a success story because I believe in all of you, or you wouldn't be here. But you are a complete and total success story because you said, you can think whatever you want about me. I know who I am, and every single day you're going to know who I am a little bit more. That, my friends, is the kind of student he's going to conquer so many things. There's going to be so many successes because he's going to say, you can think what you want, but I'm going to show you who I am. Isn't that awesome?
Let's give it up for Omar.
I think that's awesome, and I'm glad you said something, and I'm sorry you felt that way.
Well, if you guys want to talk about staff.
Look at the time. I might have to head out.
No, it's actually a good thing.
Oh, good.
I've had Miss Stone is the best math teacher I've ever had. Amazing teacher. I love Miss Stone. She taught me more in a year, and I know some people don't like her, but she taught me more in a year than I learned in 3 years of public middle school and high school. I love Miss Stone. She's great. Miss Richmond is great. Mr. Carson is great. Miss Betancourt's great. Everybody, I've only had issue with one person, and to me, that's pretty good. If you only have an issue with one person, that's good. So, yeah.
And that one person we've all had issues with.
So it's like,
Well, you have to
you
tell
know.
us who it was, huh?
What?
Who was it?
Amazing teacher.
Yeah.
Awesome teacher.
Yeah.
When I first came here, I was new, and I came here 3 years ago in the sophomore year, and the teacher that really made me want to continue going here was Miss Nicely, because she just she helped me so much as I was a new student, and she just really cared about me, and she, she just took an interest in all of her students, and she really helped us all learn and stuff, and I just really appreciated that in her. She was a really amazing teacher.
Yeah, she would know every single one of her students on a personal level. Like her and Mr. Smith, they were just both like that. They would just get to know you, go out of their way and just know everything about you so they could help you out and teach you in a way you'd understand it. And that's what I really liked about both of them.
Miss Nysa was really passionate too, and just I know she was the deciding factor in a lot of people's careers and going into science, and I don't know, that's really something when you can influence someone's whole career. But she was great.
Because my older brother went to this school, she'd always compare us, and in a good way. She'd be like, because my brother's Spencer Glenn, so she'd always be like, you're a lot quieter than Spencer in class. And then she'd always go to Spencer because he was a senior my freshman year. And she'd be like, she's not as obnoxious as you were in class. And he'd always come in and help and be staring at me and watching me do my work. And she'd always be like, Spencer, stop bothering your sister. She's doing her work. So it was kind of funny having known her from my middle school years because I went to the Da Vinci Academy and she knew me as Spencer's little sister. And then it was nice becoming one of her own students because she was a fantastic teacher.
Yeah. She also truly wanted us to succeed. I remember, after tests, me and Garrett would literally talk to her and she'd help us with the tests. And the ones we needed help on, she'd actually help us out and teach it to us. She wouldn't give us the answers, but she'd teach us, and she tries to help us succeed, which is what I appreciated about her.
I think that was a lot touching, really. Yeah, it was good. to have a good touching moment. So let's move on, I guess. Socratic seminar. What advantages can you discuss on having? Oh, wait, actually, no, we discussed that one. What have you enjoyed the most out of the internship experience?
Well, knowing what you wanted to do, like if you, let's say, for me, I always had like a love of science, and I always wanted to try to see paleontology since I was a little kid, and stuff from paleontology. I guess I still like it, but it's just a lot of tedious little work with the bones. It's just like, do I really want to do that, or do I just want to do like something else? And I just, well, since the internship experience, I learned that, well, it's enjoyable, but I'd rather not do that as like for a profession.
I'd say having the privilege of working with Mr. Smith, because he's a great teacher and a great guy, so yeah. He has a lot of connections, and he's just really like, he just
helps a lot.
Yeah, because at some point we all kind of had him, but we ended up interning with him, and he's just amazing. Like, he'll go out of his way just to like hang out with us. He's always inviting us to teach us how to golf and stuff, and like network with people. That's the point of the golfing. But yeah, he's just a great guy. Yeah, miss him.
And obviously Mr. Essel is a great teacher.
Mr. Essel. Great.
I haven't had him, but he's really cool from what I've seen.
What you've seen?
Yeah.
I really like how it helps you explore your interests farther, and how well organized it is to where they can get you into the career path that you're trying to take. I'm into motorcycles, mechanics, and all that, and I got to work at Harley Davidson here in Temecula, and I think that was really cool because it helped me just kind of explore the beginning stages of working at a shop. Because when you work at a shop, you start out at the bottom and work your way up, and it kind of showed me that and gave me that experience, and I really appreciated that.
I think the entire internship thing, like Scott said, you start from the bottom. It gives you like a solid sense of like responsibility, because you're not getting paid. Obviously, it's for school credits, but being able to work for free like shows you, what's required of you, and like it just gives you a good idea of what work is going to be like when you actually go into the field.
Sometimes it feels like you're working for free.